Book of Jasher chapter 16. Who was Melchisedec, the Shem theory. 1. At that time Jasher I, king of Elam, sent to all the neighboring kings, to Nimrod, king of Shinar, who was then under his power, and to Tidal, king of Goyim, and to Arioch, king of Elasar, with whom he made a covenant, saying, Come up to me and assist me, that we may smite all the towns of Sodom and its inhabitants, for they have rebelled against me these 13 years. 2. And these 4 kings went up with all their camps, about 800,000 men, and they went as they were, and smote every man they found in their road. 3. And the 5 kings of Sodom and Gomorrah, Shinab king of Admah, Shem I king of Zeboim, Bera king of Sodom, Bersha king of Gomorrah, and Bela king of Zoar, went out to meet them, and they all joined together in the valley of Siddim. 4. And these 9 kings made war in the valley of Siddim, and the kings of Sodom and Gomorrah were smitten before the kings of Elam. 5. And the valley of Siddim was full of lime pits, and the kings of Elam pursued the kings of Sodom, and the kings of Sodom with their camps fled and fell into the lime pits, and all that remained went to the mountain for safety, and the 5 kings of Elam came after them and pursued them to the gates of Sodom, and they took all that there was in Sodom. 6. And they plundered all the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah, and they also took Lot, Abram's brother's son, and his property, and they seized all the goods of the cities of Sodom, and they went away, and Eunuch, Abram's servant, who was in the battle, saw this, and told Abram all that the kings had done to the cities of Sodom, and that Lot was taken captive by them. 7. And Abram heard this, and he rose up with about 318 men that were with him, and he that night pursued these kings and smote them, and they all fell before Abram and his men, and there was none remaining but the 4 kings who fled, and they went each his own road. 8. And Abram recovered all the property of Sodom, and he also recovered Lot and his property, his wives and little ones and all belonging to him, so that Lot lacked nothing. 9. And when he returned from smiting these kings, he and his men passed the valley of Siddim where the kings had made war together. 10. And Bera king of Sodom, and the rest of his men that were with him, went out from the lime pits into which they had fallen, to meet Abram and his men. 11. And Adnai king of Jerusalem, the same was Shem, went out with his men to meet Abram and his people, with bread and wine, and they remained together in the valley of Melech. Story from the King James Bible. 5. And in the 14th year came Jasher I, and the kings that were with him, and smote the Rephaims in Ashtaroth Karnaim, and the Zuzims in Ham, and the Emims in Shaveh-Kiriathaim, 6. And the Horites in their Mount Seir, unto El Paran, which is by the wilderness. 7. And they returned, and came to En-Mishpat, which is Kadesh, and smote all the country of the Amalekites, and also the Amorites, that dwelt in Hazazontamar. 8. And there went out the king of Sodom, and the king of Gomorrah, and the king of Admah, and the king of Zeboim, and the king of Bela, the same as Zoar, and they joined battle with them in the vale of Siddim. 9. With Jasher I the king of Elam, and with Tidal king of nations, and Amrav king of Shinar, and Arioch king of Elasar, 4 kings with 5. 10. And the vale of Siddim was full of slime pits, and the kings of Sodom and Gomorrah fled, and fell there, and they that remained fled to the mountain. 11. And they took all the goods of Sodom and Gomorrah, and all their victuals, and went their way. 12. And they took Lot, Abram's brother's son, who dwelt in Sodom, and his goods, and departed. 13. And there came one that had escaped, and told Abram the Hebrew, for he dwelt in the plain of Mer the Amorite, brother of Eshcol, and brother of Anna, and these were confederate with Abram. 14. And when Abram heard that his brother was taken captive, he armed his trained servants, born in his own house, 318, and pursued them unto Daniel. 15. And he divided himself against them, he and his servants, by night, and smote them, and pursued them unto Hobah, which is on the left hand of Damascus. 16. And he brought back all the goods, and also brought again his brother Lot, and his goods, and the women also, and the people. 17. And the king of Sodom went out to meet him after his return from the slaughter of Jasher I, and of the kings that were with him, at the valley of Shaveh, which is the king's dale. 18. And Melchisedec king of Salem brought forth bread and wine, and he was the priest of the Most High God. 19. And he blessed him, and said, Blessed be Abram of the Most High God, possessor of heaven and earth. 4:20 And blessed be the Most High God, which hath delivered thine enemies into thy hand. And he gave him tithes of all. Gen 14 verse 4:20, King James Version.